Every May, the most important individual award in basketball gets announced. The Clutch Player of the Year. Psych, no one cares about that. The MVP gets announced. And this year, realistically, it's going to come down to the same two guys it came down to last year, Jokic and SGA. But I want to have a little fun. There's been an insane amount of guys going crazy this season. And if you're not a Thunder fan or a Nugget fan, it probably gets annoying not hearing your favorite team's best player get any talk in these conversations. So I want to extend that list a little. And for this video, we're going to go through the top 20 MVP candidates for the 2026 season. Let's start it off. Number 20, Pascal Siakam. See what I mean? Pascal Siakam's name wouldn't come up in MVP conversations if it was the Pascal Siakam MVP award. But he's been going crazy this season. This season so far, after Halliburton went down in the finals, Siakam, 24 points per game, which is 17th in the NBA, 6.7 rebounds per game, 3.9 assists per game. I mean, the Pacers are like 4-91, but it's not really Siakam's fault. His team has that record, and he ended up making the All-Star team. So Pascal, gotta give some credit, you know? But after him, coming in at number 19, we got Deni Avdija. There might not be a player that gets hated on like Deni does. Granted, it's because every time you turn on a Blazers game, this brother is going to be at the free throw line. But hey, it works. Also, while I'm recording this, Bam just dropped 70 on my TV in the background. Insane. Sorry for that side note. But Deni this season, 24.3 points per game, 15th in the NBA, 7 rebounds per game, 6.7 assists, 13th in the NBA, top 15 in the league in points and assists. Imagine somebody told you Deni would be doing that 3 years ago. But he also made his first All-Star game this season. It still amazes me the Wizards had this guy and said, actually, we'd rather Malcolm Brogdon and Bub Carrington. Deni is 6th in the NBA in triple-doubles. He leads the NBA in drives per game at 19.4, which is why he's at the free throw line always. Yeah, the Blazers aren't great. They're 31-34. But Deni has been playing his best ball of his career so far. So yeah, Deni, 19th in our MVP race. But number 18 in our race, Atlanta's very own, Jalen Johnson. I think actually, if I showed you the counting stats of these two players next to each other, they're not all that off. 25.6 points per game, 12.2 rebounds, 5.1 assists, or 22.9 points per game, 10.5 rebounds, 7.9 assists per game. It's kind of a pick your poison. Well, players A is Charles Barkley's MVP season. Player B is Jalen Johnson this year. This dude is a walking triple-double every single night. He's shooting 49% from the field, nearly 35% from 3, and he made his first All-Star game this season. Remember, this is the same guy who was a role player in Atlanta 2 years ago? Now he's the guy, like the guy. In December, he averaged 25.8 points, 11.2 rebounds, and 10.1 assists for the whole month. The only other players ever to do that over a full month are Luka, Wilt, and LeBron. Imagine the Los Angeles Lakers had 2 of these guys at the same time, man. It'd be unfair. But Jalen Johnson, he also had a game this year with 31 points, 18 rebounds, 14 assists, and 7 steals. The stat line has never happened before. Not once. You know what? Maybe he should be like the MVP. Jokic said he's like a little fawn. He's good. What the hell is a fawn? Yeah, that's Jalen Johnson for sure. Anyways, number 17, Chet Holmgren. Now here's the thing with Chet. He's on arguably the best team in the league, so his numbers aren't going to jump off the page. 17.3 points, 9 rebounds, 1.9 blocks per game. But context matters because this dude is the anchor of what, in a bunch of stats, is the best defense we've seen over the last 20 years. He's going to be the runner-up for Depoy. Unfortunately for him, Wemby happened to be born. But Chet's been money. He's shooting 55% from the field, 35% from 3, as a 7-footer. Literally every time I think of Chet though, I think of this video. I'm not going to play it. You know what it is. The reason he's not higher on this list though, OKC is so deep, he's not even playing 30 minutes a night. He made the All-Star team, won a ring, so as much as people hate Chet, he's here.
Pull up with them pros and get shot down. Young boy in control. No, I blow your block down.
Number 16, Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes to me is like the anti-Jalen Johnson. Yes, Scotty Barnes is really solid on offense, but the way Jalen Johnson dominates on offense, Scotty Barnes does on defense. The Raptors this year are way above any expectations, but Scotty Barnes, 18.9 points, 7.9 rebounds, 5.4 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.6 blocks per game. He might be the best two-way player we talked about yet, and he's shooting 50% from the field. He had a 25 rebound game this year, the Raptors' record, a franchise that employed Bismack Biyombo. He's a two-time All-Star now. He'll probably make the All-Defense team. And the Raptors are a playoff team, so shout out Scotty. But the top 15. Technically, I guess because there's only 15 left, these would be my All-NBA team players. And number 15, Devin Booker. The only reason I gave Booker the nod over Barnes, because I expected Adam Silver to relegate the Suns to the G League after how I thought they were going to perform this year. But now they're 37-27, 7th in the West. And Booker, the Suns' all-time leading scorer, just a flat-out bucket still. 24.9 points, 6.1 assists. Although the efficiency is definitely down this season, he's still great. People have been sleeping on Booker for his entire career. Like, we've been having this conversation for 10 years now. Is he really that guy? And every single year he answers the question. The thing about Booker that doesn't show up in the highlights, it's how he wins games. This year, he went 15 for 15 on the line against Charlotte. If you're watching a free throw compilation, you're a sick human being. But Book, great player. And number 14, Jalen Duren, another great player. The current favorite for most improved player, actually. I know for a fact, Knicks fans are absolutely still sick. They drafted him and traded him. And I know some people are going to see this and say, really, Duren, 14th? But 22 years old, 18.5 points, 10.7 rebounds per game, shooting 63% from the field, which is 7th in the entire NBA. The guy lives on the offensive glass. 205 offensive rebounds this season. The comp people keep throwing out is a young Dwight Howard, and honestly, I don't hate it. But obviously, he's got a lot of time before that. I ain't disrespecting Dwight Howard, that's an all-time great. But Duren, a first-time All-Star, the MIP favorite, already somehow one of the best centers in the NBA. But one of the best point guards in the NBA, number 13, Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray finally, after 900 seasons in the NBA, made the All-Star team. But honestly, Murray's recognition, it feels long overdue, but he is having an elite season, so he's at least getting the recognition now. 25.5 points per game, 7.2 assists, shooting 43% from 3, which is a career high. And I feel like he's just one of the guys that goes off every game. He dropped 52 points against Indiana earlier this season, 10 for 11 from 3, 10 for 11. He also went for 45 against Utah with 8 threes in the fourth quarter, just cooking. And the Jokic connection, he assisted Jokic 127 times this season, the most any passer scored duo in the entire league. These two are genuinely unfair together. Now the knock on Murray has always been, yeah, it's the regular season, and I get it, he turns to MJ reincarnated every playoffs. MJ didn't die, I don't know why I said that. But this year, he's finally getting recognized as an elite regular season player too. First All-Star selection, career highs across the board, 7 points per game in the fourth quarter alone. Top 10 in the league in clutch scoring. So yeah, Jamal Murray, 13th. And 12th, another point guard, Tyrese Maxey. Maxey became the offensive engine of a team with Joel Embiid, but Maxey's having an elite season. 28.9 points, 6.8 assists, 4th in the entire NBA in three-pointers made. I feel like the whole first half of the season, he was 3rd in MVP voting. Then the Sixers became the 2015 Sixers again. But Maxey's been going crazy. Earlier this year, he passed Allen Iverson as the all-time three-point leader in Sixers history. At 25 years old. There's nothing really to say except he's balling. And number 11, an all-time great, Kevin Durant. KD is one of those guys we feel like gotta get a little worse eventually, but somehow he keeps getting better. It's weird. I don't know. Year 18, 37 years old, 26.2 points, 5.4 rebounds, 4.6 assists per game, shooting 51% from the field, 63% true shooting. At 37, no one does this. And this season, he passed Dirk in all-time scoring, and he might pass MJ by the time I post this. Actually, I'll probably post this in 2 days, so I don't know if he gets a 160-point game, although Bam's at 77 right now, so he might get it. But KD, 26 points a game in year 18. Yes, the KD files happened, and yes, they probably were KD, and yes, he said some crazy stuff, and yes, he was talking about G Herbo 30 seconds before tip-off in Twitter group chats, but he's an elite player. So number 11, Kevin Durant. But before we get to the top 10, I'm gonna make this real quick this time. Please sub, I'll be posting a lot here. Thanks. Anyways, the top 10. And number 10, Donovan Mitchell. I feel like Spider gets overlooked, probably because how the Cavs started off this season, genuinely brutal. 29 points, 5.9 assists per game, 5th in the entire NBA in scoring, shooting 48.7% from the field, 37.6 from 3, and his 8th season still getting better somehow. And the Cavs somehow started to turn into a contender. I guess that's what happens when you get James Harden. A top 5 offense in the entire league. The thing about Spider though I think don't get talked about enough is that he averaged over 24 points per game for 7 straight seasons. 7 straight. That's elite company, like puts you in a very short list of guards in NBA history. And he's not just a scorer either, nearly 6 assists a game, leading Cleveland in points and assists before Harden came. And the Cavs are built to go deep in the playoffs this year, and Donovan Mitchell is the reason why. That's your number 10. And your number 9, Kawhi Leonard. There's actually nothing worse than when my favorite team is to play Kawhi. I just know we're about to get cooked. And besides that, what he did to OG Anunoby the other day, maybe the best defender in the NBA, OG Anunoby. How can someone do this to OG Anunoby is what I'm trying to say. 28 points, 6.4 rebounds, 3.7 assists per game, 8th in the entire NBA in scoring, shooting 49.4% from the field in year 15 at 34 years old. The funniest part is, Kawhi actually qualifies for postseason awards. When does this ever happen? If the Clippers were one of the best teams in the NBA, I think he'd actually win MVP. In the middle of the season, Kawhi went on a 14-game stretch, averaging 32 points per game for 14 straight games. And for the defense, 2 steals per game. When Kawhi plays, he's a top 10 player on the planet. That's just pretty much what it comes down to. Low-key, I would kill for a deep Clippers playoff run. That might feed families. But number 8, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, 27 points, 6.1 assists per game, 10th in the NBA in scoring, shooting 47% from the field. For some reason, he gets like 15 assists per game the last couple. I don't know when he turned into Steve Nash. But the Knicks right now, the 3 seed in the East, and Brunson is their engine. He dropped 40 points against Orlando to send the Knicks to the Cup final. Then the Knicks win the Cup. This is a guy who was a role player in Dallas. And now he's the guy in New York. I don't know how he does it really. He's not really athletic, but honestly, if there's any player in the NBA I trust with the ball in a late game situation, it might actually be Jalen Brunson. Every single time, late game, big moment, ball in his hands, he finds a way to score. Already, one of the best Knicks players ever. Number 8, like the flow, Jalen Brunson won't trip. But number 7, someone who just gets better every season, Anthony Edwards. Ant, 29.3 points, 5.2 rebounds, 3.7 assists per game, 3rd in the entire NBA in scoring, shooting 49% from the field, 40% from 3, at 24 years old. So you know he ain't passing the rock, but he's gonna score it efficiently too. Like way more efficiently than I expected before the season. His splits are genuinely legit. He dropped 55 points against San Antonio this season, 9 threes, 55 points, career high. One of the best scoring explosions by any player this entire year. He also had a game against New Orleans where he scored 34 points in the second half alone. He reached 10,000 career points before turning 25. The only players in NBA history to do it faster, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. That's it. That's the list. And he already holds the Timberwolves franchise record for most career 30-point games at 24. His scoring average has gone up every single season since he entered the league. Since the All-Star break, he's averaging 31 per game. Anthony Edwards, he'll be averaging like 57 points per game next season. Jaylen Brown. Honestly, I just got to give some credit because somehow without Tatum, the Celtics are like better than they were last year. Well, it just came back, but you know what I mean. And like 95% could be credited to Jaylen Brown. Brown this year, 29.1 points, 7.1 rebounds, 4.8 assists per game, 4th in the entire NBA in scoring. He's efficient too. But the 3 stats, his career highs in points, rebounds, and assists, all at the same time. And earlier this season, he scored 30 or more points in 9 straight games. 9 straight. That's tied a Boston Celtics franchise record. A franchise that had Larry Bird, John Havlicek, and Shane Larkin. A career high in every major category at 29. People spent years debating whether Jaylen Brown was really a number 1 option, whether he could be the guy, and honestly, it's obvious he can. So yeah, I didn't know how Brown was going to be this year, but he's been amazing. But back to the live cam, Bam has 81. Insane, he tied Kobe's record. But now, we got the top 5. And number 5, Luka Doncic. Remember the Mavs had Luka? What a time. And Brunson, by the way, at the same time. Sorry, Mavs fans. But Luka, a current day Los Angeles Laker, going crazy this year. The scoring leader in the entire NBA this season. 32.8 points, 7.8 rebounds, 8.6 assists per game. 1st in scoring, 3rd in assist. Isn't it weird the NBA's all-time points per game leaders are MJ, Wilt, and Luka? The good old big 3. But Luka, he's basically averaging a triple-double while also leading the league in points. There are also maybe 3 or 4 players in NBA history who ever put up a stat line like this. We're talking Oscar Robertson, Jokic, Westbrook territory. And remember, it's his first full season as a Laker. New system, the JJ Redick system. Maybe my favorite nickname I've ever seen. But Luka, insane. There isn't one player in the NBA who could stop him when he gets the ball. This guy needs to win an MVP at some point in his career. But it probably won't happen this season. And new update, Bam has 83, the most ridiculous thing I ever watched. But now we're in the top 4. And number 4, another point guard, Cade Cunningham. Imagine before the season, somebody told you the Pistons would be 45-18. Duncan Robinson must be averaging 45. But Cade Cunningham completely turned the Pistons around. 25.4 points, 5.8 rebounds, 9.8 assists per game, 2nd in the entire NBA in assists. The Pistons had a 13-game winning streak this season. A 13-game winning streak. The Detroit Pistons. I've seen this team lose 25 straight games before. But Cade Cunningham, he was the engine the whole time. He became the first Pistons All-Star starter since AI in 2009. That's how long the Pistons have been waiting for a guy like this. Actually, they got 2 of them. They got 2 top 14 players in my MVP race. Piston fans, when you're arguing somebody about how good Cade and Duren are, use the argument, they were both ranked in the top 14 of a YouTube video I watched. It works every time. Anyways, now we got the top 3. And these are the top 3 who are kinda in their own category right now. And number 3, Victor Wembanyama. Wemby is in his 3rd year right now. He's finally gonna win DPOY, although this should be like his 3rd DPOY, but at least he's gonna get on the board. But in terms of MVP, he's been elite. And so have the Spurs. The Spurs are currently 47-17, the 2nd best record in the NBA. And Wemby, 24.4 points, 11.1 rebounds, 3 blocks per game, leads the entire NBA in blocks, top 5 in rebounds, shooting 51% from the field, at 7'4" tall, while also making 1.8 threes per game. This season, Wemby recorded his 500th career block in only 143 career games. The only players to reach it faster, Manute Bol, David Robinson, Mark Eaton, which I'm actually surprised that many players did it faster, but those are like known shot blockers. But at 22 years old, he's already in conversations with the greatest blockers in history. There is no player like him in the NBA, but the reason he's not 1 or 2, well, because the guys who are 1 or 2 exist. And now, we'll move to the actual race. Number 2, I'm going with SGA. To me, this is the biggest toss-up I ever remember in the MVP race. The reigning MVP, the reigning Finals MVP, the reigning scoring champ, all in the same season last year, putting him in the same category as MJ, Shaq, and Kareem as the only players to ever do all 3 in the same season. We don't talk about it, but SGA is easily one of the best players ever. And then he comes back and does it this season again. 31.8 points per game, 6.4 assists, second in the NBA in scoring, shooting 55% from the field, 55% as a guard. He's actually like top 10 scorers ever. Like, I don't think there's any way around it at this point. And OKC is the best team in the league, 51-15. The only reason he's not number one is because what number one is doing this year. And number one, I went Jokic. To me, Jokic might be having the best season anyone's ever had. I feel like we say that every year for Jokic, but it's true. 28.8 points, 12.5 rebounds, 10.5 assists, first in the NBA in rebounds, first in the NBA in assists, top 10 in scoring. All three at the same time, as a center. He's the best rebounder in the league and the best passer in the league, while also scoring 29 points a game, shooting 58% from the field, and he's shooting 39% from three. Remember this game, Christmas Day, 56 points, 16 rebounds, 15 assists in one game. He's only the second player ever in NBA history to record a 50-15-15 triple-double, a 3-time MVP, averaging a triple-double again this season at 30 years old. People keep waiting for Jokic to slow down, and every single year he comes back and does something we'd never seen before. To me, this guy right here, the MVP once again. But if you guys enjoyed this, I would genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. It's the only thing that lets me know you guys want me to keep going all in on this channel. Thank you for watching.